Toby Perkins.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. I have to say that there will be real disappointment amongst Derby County fans that the Sports Minister wasn't here to respond. I understand what's been said about him being on a bill committee, but I think arrangements could have been made. Well, it would be good to hear from him, because with the greatest respect to the Minister, he hasn't been able to answer the fundamental question here. He's spoken about Crystal Palace, the previous problems they had, but there's one thing that's different about this particular situation, and that is the threat of legal action from Middlesbrough and Wickham, and the impact that those commitments that may exist in the future is having on the possibility of a takeover happening now. So can the Minister tell us what the Sports Minister is actually doing to ensure that the issue of these Wickham and Middlesbrough claims against the previous owners doesn't prevent Derby County from being purchased, because it is when clubs have debts in the future that they go out of existence altogether, as we saw with Glasgow Rangers and Bury. Clubs that have debts in the past, it can be resolved. But that is the key question we need to hear about today.
Well, I think, if I may say respectfully, the honourable member's comments about the Sports Minister at the beginning of his question were rather unfair. The Sport Minister was in a bill committee taking primary legislation through Parliament, and he has actually now arrived on the front bench, having completed that important task. So I think that, if I may say, that was an extremely unfair remark. In relation to the other football clubs, there are legal proceedings which are currently pending, but I think there should be a pragmatic solution found. And I know the Sports Minister has been in touch with the English Football League about finding a pragmatic solution. There were actually similar issues with Crystal Palace 11 years ago. It was to do with, I think it was Lloyds Bank at the time. And again, a pragmatic solution was found. And I expect the same pragmatism to be displayed here. And finally, the fan-led review does touch on some of these issues about debts. And when that is implemented, it will address the issues that he is raising.
Point of order.
Mr Deputy Speaker, I thank the Minister for standing in bravely, but I do think this was a petition that specifically went to the Sports Minister, and I think it will be a matter of huge regret that the perspective that the Sports Minister could have given to this urgent question, he wasn't able to do. And I just wonder in future, I've been here when we've had statements at different times, whether in future we could ask the Government, in these matters that are of such importance to people, to try and find a way to work with the opposition, either to delay the bill committee or to delay the statement, so that the Minister could have been here to respond. I really feel, for the sake of my constituents who are incredibly worried about the future of Derby County, that we would have had a different response if the Sports Minister had an opportunity to respond. So I'm not meaning to be mean to anyone, but I just wonder if Government and the Speaker could in future work to try and make sure that the relevant Minister could be here in matters of this importance.